Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Micah. Today's video is going to be a little bit differently from what you're used to because today I wanted to talk fashion with you, and I usually film fashion videos in my bedroom with a bit of a try on, etc. But I wanted to make a video that sort of serves the purpose of giving all the facts about my fashion life in one video that I could just always put in a description box, because I get lots of questions about how tall I am, what size I wear, and all that. And since I don't want to be super repetitive in other videos, which I find other fashion videos sometimes to be when people are always repeating these things, I thought it would be better to put it all in one video. So I've got 3 things I want to do in the video today, which is first of all give you my fashion stats, and then sort of talk about my style a little bit, how I would define it, which I found really difficult to sort out, but I think I have sort of an idea of what I can tell you about it. And then towards the end of the video, I want to share 10 staple items from 10 brands, so that if I'm looking for, let's say, jeans, I check out this brand first, that sort of idea. So that's what this video is all about. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So really quickly, fashion facts. What you need to know about me and what influences my dressing is, of course, how tall I am and what size I wear. My length has been the same since I was 12 years old, so I'm roughly 5 feet tall. In meters, like if you use a metric system, I'm 1 meter 56 centimeters and a half. The half is very important. So yeah, when it comes to sizing, I struggle a lot to really say what size I wear because I don't really shop clothing sizes. So that's something that you need to know. This is why I never list sizes in any of my videos, because I feel just because I wear something in a certain size, even if you feel like you have the same sort of body makeup that I have, things are going to look very differently on you, even if you were to shop the same size. Because I like to look at an item and then decide based on the item what size to get it in. So different retailers have different sizing, but for instance, if I want a t-shirt to look more oversized, I'm going to size up in it. So I have every size under the sun, from a size extra small to a size extra large in my wardrobe. I just do. Because I don't really tend to go for just one thing. Of course, there are like the standards. So roughly the benchmark that I kind of use for myself and that I usually shop for is for a size top. If it's like a t-shirt, I go for a medium or a large, depending on how I want the fit to be. If I want it to be more fitted, I tend to go for a medium. If I want it to be more oversized, I tend to go for a large. If I am going to go wear a button down, if it's a fitted button down, I go for a 42, so European size 42, I think is a UK size 14 and an American size 12, or I go down one size in that, depending on the shape of the blouse. Like right now there are so many oversized blouses, and in those I sometimes size down 2 or 3 sizes because I'm quite short, and if it's too oversized it just drowns me too quickly, because I have a petite frame height-wise, but I am a little stocky in my build, so that's why petite ranges don't always cater to me. Even though the item works lengthwise, very often they also make it more petite in the waist and like the overall sizing, and that doesn't really work for me. When I shop blazers, I always tend to size down. I used to hate blazers, and what I found is that I was always looking for blazers that I could close. However, on my frame, if I get a blazer that I can close, it becomes too bulky in the shoulders and in the arms, and it just looks really off and the proportions no longer work. So I tend to actually wear my blazers a size too small. So I tend to wear blazers in a size 38, usually if it's H&M. Zara, I tend to get a 40, so that would be a size 10 UK and a size 8 US. Or I go up one size, so a size 12 or a size 10. So that's the way I do that. Really depends on the brand what I need to get. For bottoms, I'm also all over the place. I really tend to look for, does something have stretch, yes or no? If it has stretch, I go for a European size 40, and that would be a size 10 American and a UK size 12. or I go up a size if it's no stretch, and I go up even another size if it's a very tailored pair of trousers that really nips you in at the waist, because I have an apple shape, so my waist isn't very defined, but I can sort of create a waist if the pants fit okay, but sometimes that means I need to size up. For dresses, I tend to wear a size large, so also like a 40 or a 42. So again, a size 10 to 12 if it's UK US, or a 12, 14 if it's UK US. And then for shoes, I've got pretty small feet because I'm not that tall. So I'm wearing a European size 37, which is UK size 4 or an American size 7. But like I said, shoes, I'm like, those are like standard, but everything else, I just kind of look at the item and decide based on that what I would like to buy. That's just the way I roll. Another thing you should know about clothing is that I have been shopping online for more than a decade. I was someone who very quickly jumped onto the online shopping train. And so I can just tell from an item description and what the fabrics, like what the fabric is made of, and whether something has stretch or not, and how it sort of fits on a model. I can usually gauge very easily what it might look like on myself. So I don't know, that's just a skill I've developed over the years. But I think that what an item is made of, whether it has stretch or not, is going to be more important as sort of like looking at whether something's very tailored or very, like whether it has a very narrow cut. That's going to give you more information to what size you need than the actual size. So for me, it's really per item that I decide that. So then what is my style like? I don't really think I have a style. I'm one of those people who wears everything under the sun. I tend to not wear a lot of black. So I definitely sort of go against a lot of the fashion grain of, you know, capsule wardrobes and like the whole minimalist everything, like 50 Shades of Beige kind of trend that you see a lot. I'm not a big fan of neutrals. I have neutrals in my wardrobe. I definitely have a couple of black items, but I'm just not someone who really looks great. Like today I'm wearing a taupe sweater and that kind of works, but I tend to wear quite a lot of color and prints and things like that because I like to have fun with whatever I'm wearing. But the best way to describe my personal style is perhaps a mix of feminine and masculine pieces. So I like to really create either a balance or a juxtaposition by, for instance, pairing a floral dress with a pair of Dr. Martens, or by putting a very feminine skirt with a pair of brogues. Like I've always played around with sort of balancing those things out, whether it is like in fabrics, so different textures that go together. So for instance, if I'm wearing a like a tailored suit, then I might put a very floaty blouse underneath it to sort of juxtapose the masculinity of the suit. So I always look for that blend, but I do think that that's, you know, again, something that you just need to figure out for yourself. But I always have an item that is perhaps a little bit more feminine and then something that's a bit more masculine. I kind of always make a mix of those two things. Overall, it's quite a casual style. I definitely dress for comfort more so than for style. And I do like a little bit of preppiness, but not overly preppy. Like if it gets too like prim and proper, I don't like it. The same thing with the femininity. Like if it becomes too florally and ruffly and girly, then it doesn't really suit my physique nor my taste. So that's definitely something that I figured out over the years. So I've got like go-to staples. And then, like I mentioned, I really like colors and prints, and I also really like mixing those. So my favorite color to wear is red. I do have to say though that I did really have to make an effort to find good red items because not every shade of red is created equal. But I've got red items in every single category, from shoes to tops to blouses to pants to blazers. Like in every single category of my wardrobe, I've got red items. And then for prints, I really like a good polka dot, as you'll see in a minute. I've got a love for floral dresses. I don't have that many florals in other parts of my wardrobe, I have found out, but floral dresses. And the same thing goes for stripes. I really like stripes, but I only really like them in turtlenecks. For some reason, if I look at I just had a look at my wardrobe the other day, and I have a bunch of blouses and t-shirts and dresses and all that, but most of the items with a stripe are turtlenecks. So I'm not even sure what happened there. I also like a good dogtooth, houndstooth, pied-de-poule kind of pattern as well. I really like checks and gingham too, whether it's like a Prince of Wales check or just like a checkerboard check as well, which is something that you see coming back too. But overall, my philosophy is just to try and have fun. I don't buy clothes for occasions. I don't buy clothes that make me go like, oh, I will only ever wear this to work. Or I will only ever wear this dress to this one party. Or I will only buy these clothes for this one trip that I go on. This is something that I see a lot of fashion influencers do. If you see their hauls, they go like, oh yeah, I bought these clothes because I'm going to trip so-and-so. And I'm like, or party so-and-so, especially when, you know, before we all got stuck at home, this was what you heard a lot of fashion people say. And I was like, why would you do that? I just try to make sure I have items in my wardrobe that are a bit more dressy for occasion wear and all that I won't wear on the regular, but I don't want to have to go out and buy something because an occasion is coming up. So I tend to just make sure I cover all of my bases, and my main reasoning for buying clothes is if I can't wear it to work, I can't buy it. So I definitely went through this phase when I made the transition from student to teacher, that there were clothes in my wardrobe that I felt I couldn't really get away with, or that I would only wear clubbing, and then I stopped clubbing. So those are all things that over the years kind of left my wardrobe. My baseline is I want to be able to wear something to work, and I am a little bit wacky, which even like at my previous job, a colleague once said, like, there's only a handful of people that work here that really have a curated style, and I feel you're one of them. So I've always stood out, but I always have. Like even when I was in school, I dressed differently from everybody else. So I've never really stuck to the norm. Would be interesting to do one of those like style evolution videos at some point. I've already asked friends of mine to send me some pictures, because there are outfits that I've worn that I know friends of mine have pictures of that I don't have myself, because this was pre-digital pictures. So I'm gonna have to ask them to send me some, and I might be able to do that kind of video. Another thing you should do when it comes to my buying behavior, yes, I do buy quite a lot of clothes. I'm very well aware of it, but I tend to buy for longevity, and I tend to focus on items that I can really see myself wearing for years, no matter what the trend is going to be at that moment. So for instance, I said in a recent fashion video that I was very happy that I had so many blouses still around with like fun styled colors, because I think, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I was really into a collar blouse. And even though I got rid of the ones that no longer fit me, or that, you know, were missing buttons and that I didn't know how to replace because the button was gone as well and had holes in them, like those I got rid of over the years. But if it was still a good item and it didn't have anything wrong with it, I've kept it around in my wardrobe, and now I feel I can wear them again, and it feels like I don't have to buy so many things right now that these like collars are really like a thing, because I feel I simply already have some of these things in my wardrobe. So that's why when it comes to doing declutters and like shopping for clothing, I have so many items. Again, I think this is a video I want to do in the future. I think a lot of the things I'm actually going to be showing you today as well. There are just so many items in my wardrobe that I keep around for years and years and years, and where, especially when it comes to sustainability and fashion, the baseline seems to be a lot about don't buy it, because of course then it's already been produced before I buy it. That's the thing. So there's just overproduction in the industry. And if it's an item that I enjoy, that I buy, and that I keep in my wardrobe for more than a decade, then I think it's okay. I think the issue is, or lies with, buying stuff, getting rid of it after a season because it no longer fits or whatever is wrong with it, and then to buy more stuff and sort of keep that cycle going. So I try to not buy things for just one season because it's a trend. I really try to focus on items that I can see myself wearing for a longer period of time. Now, that being said, I definitely have found myself 1 year being really into turtlenecks. Like that was definitely the case this fall. Or last spring, I was really into blazers. And that's when I will focus on buying those items, but those blazers aren't gonna go anywhere until maybe like 5-6 years down the line, and then I will have worn them quite a bit. For example, years ago, I think, like 2013, 2014, I had like a good year or two where all I wore were dresses. But any of the dresses I bought at the time that still fit me and that I still like, I still have. I have dresses that I bought years ago, and every single time I put them on, they just put a smile on my face. So for me, shopping is much more about buying fun items with fun prints. And very often when I declutter my wardrobe, I have so many items that I don't want to get rid of because I know that one particular print or that one particular item, I will not be able to find it in exactly that rendition. And since fashion is cyclical and things come back all the time, if you just hang on to things for long enough, at some point in time it will come back and you can wear it again, and everybody will be wearing it again. However, like I said, I shop for what I feel works for me and my lifestyle rather than what I feel other people think I should dress like. That's just always been me. So yeah, those are some things that I wanted to tell you about my fashion and my style. And then I wanted to round off the video to show you 10 items from 10 brands that I feel, if I'm looking for an item like that, I'm going to look for it in that place. And I think a category of clothing that everybody is always on the hunt for are good jeans. And I have sworn by Topshop jeans, wow, for almost a decade now. Luckily they're still around. ASOS has taken over Topshop because Arcadia Group, that's the owner of Topshop and some other stores. They went bankrupt, but ASOS has taken over Topshop, so I'll now be able to still buy some Topshop jeans. But yeah, they're Jamie jeans, back when skinny jeans were all the rage. I was wearing all the time. I think that in my entire jeans collection, I think I have 2 pairs by H&M, 2 by Levi's, and 2 by Urban Outfitters, and every other pair of jeans I own is Topshop, which means I have like 15 pairs of Topshop jeans. I just do. The ones I have here for you are their straight leg jeans. These are just called the Topshop straight jeans. I bought mine in the sale last summer for like 26 euros, and these are my favorite pair of straight leg jeans that I own. I really like the other ones I have too, but every single time I wear these, they're just lovely. And like I said, Topshop jeans is where it's at for me. If you are shorter and you live in the Netherlands, you will probably recognize the struggle of trying to find jeans that fit you. In the Netherlands, in general, most people are quite tall. I'm definitely someone who stands out for being short. And that also means that a lot of stores cater to taller people. So lengthwise, the jeans hardly ever fit me that I can buy in high street stores here. So that's why I, in the end, reverted to Topshop, because Topshop is a UK brand that tailors to, well, they have a good enough lengths already in their regular line that I can wear, but they also do a petite range, and a lot of my Jamie jeans are from the petite range, so they're a leg 28, inseam 28. This is an inseam 30. Speaking of Zara, one thing that I do really like from Zara are their blazers. So this is one of their basic blazers. These retail for 30 euros, and I have the purple, I have the lilac, And I have the pink in this, I believe. They do these in tons of different shades for tons of different seasons. They come with matching trousers. And it's just a great way if you want to add a fun pop of something in like a suit style in your wardrobe. Are these the most like high quality blazers you can find? For sure not. I do really also like H&M blazers, but I have to say that Zara is a little bit better at tailoring, I find, than many other high street retailers are. I also have some of their more expensive blazers, and those just always look really well. And because Zara is catering to quite like shorter people, I find that the issue I have with a lot of H&M blazers is that the sleeves are far too long. I never have that issue with Zara. And in a blazer like this, I do have to size up a little bit because Zara just runs a little smaller. So I just mentioned having a really strong dress game a couple of years ago, and I have two retailers where I really like to buy dresses from. The OG favorite is ASOS. This is not an ASOS brand dress, but I did buy it from ASOS. This is one of my latest purchases from them. It comes with a nice little belt and this really fun print. And that's one of the things that I love about ASOS and their dress range, is that you can very easily filter on like all different colors, all different prints, and they just stock a lot of brands and they usually do really good sales. So I really like ASOS sales shopping, and you can very often find more unique pieces that not everybody has in fun prints, such as this one. Isn't this like the most stunning spring dress? Plus it's 100% cotton. It's by a brand called Glamorous. And this is a bit of a double whammy because we just had 3 items so far, and this would be 4 and 5, but monkey blouses. This is a monkey blouse that I've had for years. Let me see if I can show you this a little bit better. It looks crooked, hold on. It's not really hung on the hanger quite well. But this is they still do this exact blouse, which is another thing I really like about Monkey. Once you find an item in their store that fits you well, they tend to do the same items every year. They just change the prints and the materials sometimes. So this exact blouse with this like folded over in the back, they still do this in many different prints right now. I happen to have it in a green with a polka dot. It's got a really nice sharp little collar. This is one that is a little bit more fitted, so I did size up in this. And then I was actually wearing this morning, but I got a bit cold, so that's why I put on the sweater. And then you can just pop a cardigan like this over it, and you all know my love for Urban Outfitters cardigans. There's another one I'm eyeing up, okay? So this is a cardigan I got from Urban Outfitters. I think, again, like 80% of all of my cardigans are from Urban Outfitters. They just are. And like I said, Monkey is really good for blouses, and I also really enjoy their turtlenecks. I've tried many other turtlenecks from places like Zara or H&M, but very often that neck element will just really get very stretched out very quickly, and you need to throw it away for that reason. With Zara, I have very often that they are very see-through, or that they show the contours of my bra a lot, whereas you want your turtlenecks to be a little bit more fitted because it's a bit more flattering. And with Monkey, I find that the materials are just a bit higher quality and they're not too expensive. So yeah, Monkey for turtlenecks and blouses, Urban Outfitters for cardigans. And apart from jeans, I think an item that most people are looking for are like basic t-shirts. My favorite basic t-shirts are by Weekday, and this is their gray number, but I have these in white, I have a dark green one, I have a black one, and I have these in multiple sizes. So I think this is a medium, but I very often have these t-shirts in like the same color, but in a size medium and in a size large. So that I have one that's more baggy and one that's more fitted. These are 100% cotton t-shirts, and they are very often on sale. You can buy 3 for the price of 2, which I love. And these are much better than any other cotton t-shirts that I've tried. They have a nice thick material, but they're still nice and breathable as well. They don't make you like overly sweaty, and they keep their shape really well. My issue with a lot of cheaper t-shirts is that if you wash them a couple of times, they start to like twist and turn, and the seams are no longer straight. And with Weekday, I just feel that the quality that you get for the price point, these are like 10 euros each, it's really on point. And this I forgot to take upstairs with me, I'm afraid. H&M is one of my favorite retailers. I think I shop the most from H&M. However, I always go for their more expensive ranges usually. Very often I feel that if you spend a little bit more in H&M, you get better quality items. So especially if you go for like things that are 25 euros and up, then I find that H&M has some really lovely things to offer. You still need to pick and choose. So with H&M, I always am very careful to look at the materials and what something is made of. And sometimes I will go to a more expensive retailer if I feel that I can get better quality items that way. But yeah, H&M is a staple, and I think almost every single printed t-shirts I have. So weekday I like to go to for like plain basic t-shirts, but H&M I go to for like printed t-shirts. So I've got quite a lot of t-shirts with band prints on them, and I think all of those are H&M. So I do really like H&M for that. And I like H&M for their knitwear, because this is an H&M sweater that I'm wearing, and I really like especially this style of H&M sweater that they do. This happens to be a higher neck one, but I also have them with like a V-neck and whatever, but it's this really stretchy sort of material. And these I have this in a mustard yellow, I have it in a green, I have it in a gray, I have them in a light gray. Like I have every color under the sun. And then also this taupey shade. I have an olive green one that I love too. And these wear really well. They don't become super bobbly. And there's just something about this material that I love. So yeah, H&M knitwear is very much on point. But in recent years, one of my other favorite retailers for knitwear has become And Other Stories, especially this. This is one of the cheapest items you can buy from And Other Stories. This is their basic mock neck sweater. I think that's what it's called. It retails for 39 euros. It's a bit more expensive than most things you will find in H&M and Zara, but like this one where it's like super stretchy, this has that same sort of texture. And this sweater I bought in London 5 years ago, and it's still a nice rich navy. It's not super bubbly, and I wear this thing all the time, and it just looks so nice. It's so nice and soft. I actually bought it in a gray last winter, and they always do a bunch of colors in these too. So I hope I can get this in another shade next winter, because this is such a good basic and good, like a real staple for me. And I've just gotten so much wear out of this one. And then in one more category is skirts. I don't really tend to wear a lot of shorts, so I don't really have a go-to retailer for shorts. But skirt wise, again, there are a couple, I have a bunch of different brands, but some of my favorite skirts are the ones that are very difficult to find because they're vintage. So I have quite a lot of these like elasticated waistband, pleated, midi, maxi skirts. And all of my favorites that sort of fall into that category, sometimes they have buttons down the front, all of my favorites that come in the most unique prints are vintage finds. This I bought at a vintage kilo sale, again 4 or 5 years ago, and I just, every single time I go to a vintage sale, I tend to snatch up one of these things. And then finally I wanted to mention shoes, because while I really like also H&M and Topshop for shoes, I am, in recent years, I've become a fan of some other brands as well. A long-standing favorite, these classic bad boys. These are Dr. Martens. This is their like classic 1460 style. But these are these are the Hard Lives. So they have a different kind of leather, so I didn't even have to break these in. Dr. Martens does a lot of different renditions of their shoes. I should not be touching the bottoms of these because they're a bit gross. But yeah, I wear these a ton. I bought my very first pair of Dr. Martens more than a decade ago. They're still going strong. I tend to buy a pair of Dr. Martens like every 2 years or so. Sometimes every year, depending on how I'm feeling and what I feel my collection needs. But yeah, I've got a lot of the lower styles that are more like shoes. My pair of snow boots is by them. Those were actually also very early buys, and I enjoy those every winter. Whenever we get snow and ice, they are my go-to shoe. So yeah, Dr. Martens. It doesn't get any more classic than this. And my very recent find, this is like I think a brand I really discovered 2 to 3 years ago, is a Swedish brand called Vagabond. You can find them online. These are my favorite pair of Chelsea boots. You can see the scuff on the toe here. These are their Grace shoe. And the Grace really is like the way they name their shoes is like they have shapes of shoes, and each shape of the shoe has a different name, usually girl's name. And so I also have a pair of Graces that are like this, but they are a lower cut, and then they have laces up the front, so they're not a Chelsea boot. So it's not as if all of their Chelsea boots are called Grace, but it's like the shape with the heel and the chunky soles. That is what makes this the Grace boot. I also have a pair of their Maya boots. I have a pair of their Olivia boots now too. I have a pair of their Western style boots. I also have a pair of sandals from the brand. Like, Vagabond is a brand I am really, really loving. So yeah, there you have it. Those were some fashion facts, staples that I wanted to share with you. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I will hopefully be doing some more fashion content for you soon. I try to do 1 or 2 fashion videos every single month. So I hope you would like to stay tuned for those, and then I would like to see you in my next video. Bye bye!